If I were Brandon Beane, I'd be like, anybody but them.
I had tweeted, if Kansas City calls, you hang up.
Yeah. All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel presented by Connors and Ferris, Stan Fates. I'm Jenna Cottrell here in Orchard Park. Let's recap the night. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Bills at 28.
Yeah.
Trade back with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Twice.
And then they traded back once again
Yep.
with the Carolina Panthers. So the Bills with the first pick in round 2. That's pick number 33. They also picked another third-round pick. Some other picks.
Yeah.
Dan, what are your thoughts?
On the plus side, here's the glass half full. At least they didn't draft Michael Penix. Let's not forget that the Falcons drafted Michael Penix. I just want that still on the record.
I don't know if that makes Bills fans feel any better.
Look, this was a very head-scratching. I would call it stunning. It's not the fact that the Bills traded back, in my opinion. It's the fact of who they traded back with.
Yeah.
And listen, I understand. I didn't like Xavier Worthy. He was.
You said that before.
I said it in the
Smaller
special. I
frame.
said before. The history of 175-pound wide receivers
65.
hitting in the first round is very low.
Yeah.
But you have now handed them to the Kansas City Chiefs. It's one thing if the Chiefs were going to take him anyway, and that's fine. And that's what Brandon Beane had to say after this round.
Yeah.
We got to talk to him after the first round. He said, if the Chiefs could have traded with somebody else and gotten Xavier Worthy. He's right.
But he traded with them.
And that's what's tough.
I totally
That's what's
hear
tough.
that.
The optics of it are a tough sell.
I completely agree because we have to talk about historically, first of all, last time the Bills traded with the Chiefs ended up drafting Patrick Mahomes. So there's that piece of it.
Correct.
And also, it's the fact that obviously this is not a divisional rival, but it's the team
It's your rival.
that has ended your season many a time.
Throughout the last 4 years.
And that is what bothers me. I get it, and Brandon Beane
Yes.
talked about after this first round of the draft, like you said, hey, if the Chiefs wanted to get up, they were going to figure out a way to do it. Take the team out of it. That's what he kept saying. Take the team out of it. This was the best deal for the Bills. And I hear that. And I also just see the Chiefs taking a wide receiver in the first round with the Bills pick, and that is what bothers me.
They will be linked.
They will.
Xavier Worthy,
Yep.
if he scores a touchdown against the Bills in a playoff game,
It's that. And that, if I were Brandon Beane, I'd be like, anybody but them.
I had tweeted, if Kansas City calls, you hang up.
Yeah. Let me guess. That tweet did very well. Yeah.
Didn't do bad.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. It's not, again, if he goes to somewhere else, you can almost live with it.
Yeah.
If the Chiefs picked him at 32, you live with it.
Absolutely.
It's a whole lot easier to say you passed up on Xavier Worthy and that you didn't have him where you are on your board.
Yeah.
You gave him to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid on a silver platter. That
Exactly.
to me is tough to wrap my mind around.
Yes.
And to move up the spots is fine. And to get a third-round pick is fine. I get it. I understand the draft trade value calculations. I get all of that. Now, instead of only having one pick tomorrow, you have 3.
Yes.
I understand all that. But what is more likely, in my eyes, Jenna, that Xavier Worthy turns into a Pro Bowler or the Bills' third-round pick turns into a Pro Bowler?
I hear you.
And that is what is tough.
That is absolutely what is tough. Now, I think it's important to note, like you said, the Bills have 3 picks tomorrow. That being said, there was some trade rumors out there that Brandon Ayuk could be possibly on the trading back.
Yep.
Debo Samuel, T. Higgins, guys like that. So the Bills, but even that, it's like, look, we talked about this. We had our live shots before the draft, and I talked about how the Bills had a need at wide receiver before Stefon Diggs. Now, after that trade, I just look at this wide receiving core, and it's like, this is scary. What are the Bills going to do?
We talked about in the pod that this is a bottom five worst wide receiving rooms in the NFL.
Yeah.
I know Dalton Kincaid. I'm excluding him from just the wide receiver position right now.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst in the league. And we heard from Brandon Beane, and he had talked about how, I get it, there also wasn't 28 first-round grades on players in this draft. He also said that he had more second-round grades on players than first-round grades. All of that makes perfect sense. But the fact that he also added that he never tried to make a call, he never tried to trade up.
He did say that.
Now again,
grain of salt.
does he have to tell us that?
Grain of salt season.
Maybe he's gonna.
But he did say that was smoke, that he was trying to aggressively get up into the top 10.
So that's another one of my problems I have is that, again, we talked about it after trading Diggs. What is your plan?
Yeah.
Because tonight feels like they didn't have a plan. To the way that this fell, to be at 28 and to have A.D. Mitchell and to have Xavier Legette and to have wide receivers on the board. That again, Brandon is very adamant about following his board, and I respect that, and that not in the building. We are currently in the building, but not in the building.
Yeah.
That
We're
is
not
where
in that room of that building.
It just seems like I thought they would have been more prepared to make a move to go up. He wouldn't say that when Jacksonville took Brian Thomas. He wouldn't say if that was something they were interested in. If they were ever going to, if Brian Thomas was on the board at 28, would they have taken him? He wasn't going to get into that.
Yeah. I actually had someone tweet at me to make sure that you were okay. How is Dan Fates
I'd
doing
fully
right
talked
now?
myself into Xavier Legette.
You really did. We saw the full.
Yeah, it was just.
All right,
There was
Brian,
like- there
it
was
was like
like-
Roma Dunze because it took a little while.
Yeah.
Obviously,
The board
run-
fell exactly the way that if you were hoping to make a splash for a Dunze, it fell.
Yeah, and that did.
With some help from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
What do you think the Bills do tomorrow?
I think they take 2 wide receivers.
Who do you like?
I like Javon Baker. I like
Yeah.
Ladd McConkey.
Yeah.
I like some of those guys. Cooper DeJean.
Troy Franklin.
Cooper
Joe,
DeJean.
Joe Brady recruited him
Yep.
out of high school.
Cooper DeJean is still out there.
Cooper DeJean.
Again,
It feels like that.
yeah, I owe Mike. I think Mike won then.
Yeah, I think he did too.
So I owe him a 6-pack because the Bills trade. What if they trade back and get him at like the other thing that really stood out to me, again, some of those guys. When we got to talk to Brandon after, there were several times that he used the word, "We got more ammo."
Yes.
We got more ammo. We got more
That
ammo.
phrase, yes.
Almost like we needed to get some more things to do something.
Yes.
Again, they're happy that they have 3 picks in the top 96 or 94, whatever the number is. That's all good. But again, we talked to a lot of people about that top tier of this wide receiver class and how historic it was and how good it is. It was really good at the top. Again, I like Ladd McConkey. I like Javon Baker.
Yeah.
I like Keon Coleman at this spot.
Matt Miller talked about it being a teeter-totter.
It's just tough to find that guy now that I would feel comfortable coming in. We talked about it. I love Ladd McConkey if Stefon Diggs was on the roster.
Yeah.
I love, Javon Baker if they had a Stefon Diggs on the roster. They don't. This just seems to be whether the board didn't fall the way they wanted to or what. They come out of here, they come out of day one with an extra third.
So they have 2 seconds. And the
See,
third.
like the thought of you got 2 seconds, you had a first. So
I agree.
So you
yeah.
so you traded 32 for
Gonna fall
33,
off the riser here.
and you got. I know you moved up from 6th to 5th. They moved
Yeah.
up a bunch of spots. All of the math works out. The optics of it are frustrating to me. I want to know what you think that you're watching this. Comment in what you'd like them to do, what your thoughts are of the moves that they made here day one.
Yeah, so the rounds 2 and 3 will be tomorrow. I'll be back up here. We'll have plenty more coverage as we figure out with the Bills. With the Beans. We're recording this at 1:15 in the morning. So.
Yeah.
All right, for Dan, I'm Jenna. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
This
That was
is trusting the process for Bills fans. They are deep in trusting that right now. So we'll see what Brandon Beane does tomorrow or later today.
Who did Josh Allen? What did
I
he
wanted
tweet?
to ask him that. Who did Josh Allen text Brandon Beane to draft? Because I bet you it wasn't.
I wanted a Dunze. I wanted Thomas.
I even said was like, oh, all right, A.D. Mitchell, cool.
A.D. Mitchell's on the board.
I did. I was also talking about Legette in terms of you were talking me into him as well.
Again, this is just going to be the Chiefs got one of the fastest guys ever.
All right,
Now you're going to have to.
Yeah, we'll see. He's 165 pounds, though. Whatever. They'll be linked forever. We got to go. We're tired. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you.
This is the Buffalo Plus Podcast, brought to you by Connors and Ferris.